people with the paranoid personality disorders, because as you try to help you, we shall try to understand what sort of parents you have with yourself. And the problem is, if you are brought up by parents who are suspicious, you also develop that kind of behavior, which is generally quite extreme, that even when you see people are discussing at a corner there, you think they are criticizing you. Yeah, they have no business to do with you. And you remember you are among your peers. Remember you are within your family
members.
Yes, and you feel that they are, surely these people are discussing me. It's a very interesting a group, that this one of paranoid personality disorder, and it is there. Thank you. Now, the second one that...
still category A.
Yeah, still in category A, because there are three of them. It's schizoid. Schizoid is a borrowed word from the early philosophers. Don't worry about them. Personality disorder it is characterized by one, somebody who has little interest in interactions. Can you imagine? No relationship at all, no boyfriend, you don't want to have, at the age you are a teenager. Remember what you said? It starts manifestations are clear from teenage going to adolescence. Here you are, a beautiful lady like you, yet you have no relationship with any young man. There's a problem here. Or here is a man who has no interest with the opposite sex. Yeah, here is a person who is quite introverted, keeps to himself. Well, these people they don't respond emotionally. Feelings, expressing feelings, they may be difficult to tell you that I love this seat, or I love that table, I even love you, admire you. They are not there at all. And they have no problem with that themselves. In fact, they are never lonely. They are happy when they are alone. They disconnect with the reality of a young individual, disconnecting with the happenings of the day. For example, currently, these young teenagers like playing, dancing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is natural. Doesn't matter who you are. Here you are, this young man is not interested in this. This young lady is not interested in this. You'll pick, and normally mothers at home are very good at picking whether my daughter is a...
Because they spend most of the time with the kids.
Yes, she knows you. And of course, she has gone through that. So, and it is a quite interesting thing. They are not depressed at all. It is that they are introverted. That's what they call it. They are in themselves. They like it when they are all alone. They are very happy, by the way. But is that behavior all right? No.
No.
I am a young man. You are a young lady. I want to talk to you, and here you don't want to hear anything. To do with me. The last
the third one
is schizotypal personality disorder. Schizotypal is slightly different from the schizoid, because this individual may be out of touch with reality. You know what I mean by reality? The truth about the matter, what's happening here, where are we, where am I, this is my auntie, this is my father, this is my sister, this is my boyfriend, this is my... They are not, they are in their own world. So these individuals have strange ways of acting, yes, even dressing. Can you imagine? You are supposed to, case scenario, in college, for example. I don't know whether you've gone to these universities and you realize that sitting arrangement is that the lecturer is down there, ladies are seated in a kind of a
Daktari, you have talked about the types of the personality disorder, which you have said there are 10, and now we are categorizing them into 3, and we are on section A. Let's take our first break, and when you come back, dear viewers, stay tuned, because Daktari will go back on the same agenda on categorizing the personality disorder. Stay tuned.
Pearls of Wisdom.
Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu reported that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "If a Muslim plants a tree or sows seeds, and then a bird or a person or an animal eats from it, it is regarded as a charitable gift, a sadaqah for him.
Repel the thought, for if you don't, it becomes an idea. So repel the idea, for if you don't, it will become a desire. So fight against that desire, for if you don't, it will become a determination and a passion. And if you don't repel that, it will become an action. And if you don't replace it with its opposite, it will become a constant habit. So at that point, it will be difficult for you to change it.
Assalamu alaikum. Once again, welcome back to our second part of the show. This is Stay Healthy, a show that dwells on health issues in the society. And today we are talking about personality disorder. With me is Dr. Gashia Thuku. Daktari, before we went for the break, you were talking about the categories of personality disorder.
That's right.
And now we are on category A.
Category A.
And we are talking about
schizotypal personality disorder.
Yeah, exactly. Now take it from there.
Yeah, the schizotypal personality disorder is an interesting one and very different from schizoid, because in schizotypal, this is a person or an individual who has really lost touch with the reality. So, and these individuals, they have strange ways of acting, because that's where we pick or name you according to your behavior. Oh, he's a good footballer. He laughs so loudly. Oh, he's talkative and all that. Now, they go a step further, and even their dressing code is interesting, meaning it is not conforming to the peer group or to the occasion. Yeah, we know that among the Christians or the majority around the world, if we are going to a funeral, there's a way that we wear.
Yeah, true.
Can you imagine this individual wearing differently, funny colors and what have you, like
to stand out? Yeah,
to stand out. This is strange. Even speaking. And even coming up with the beliefs of things that are happening. And they believe in magic. He'll walk out and tell you the way he has seen the sun moving is going to be like, and he tells you stories that are about funny communication, and even that some of our hallowed gods have sent him a message. He's suffering. Okay. They generally fear interacting with other people, and they feel suspicious of others and the ability to harm them. I don't want to attend your party. I will say something bad. I don't want to see your kid, your child. Yeah, I might something wrong might go wrong if I come to see your baby, and you are like, but you are more than my sister, surely. And they really lock them. Away. They lock themselves away from the contact with other people. Okay. Good. Now, that's the group in cluster A. Okay. Let's look at the cluster B very fast.
But Dr. before you continue, you have said there are 10 disorders. So yes. It means one cluster has 4 instead of 3.
The cluster A has 3, namely the paranoid, the schizoid, and schizotypal.
Yeah.
All those groups. Now, one may suffer from either paranoid disorder as well as schizotypal together. Okay. Rarely do you branch over to. So
there's more chances of having 2 disorders at once.
In the same cluster, yes. Okay. Yes. And rarely do you go to the other personality disorders. No, in the cluster B or in category B, we have the individuals who live these disorders include people who are totally antisocial disorder, disorder personality. You've got the borderline personality disorder. You've got this group of characters who are histrionic personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorders. So these people, or these conditions, may be considered a little different from their peers because they can be perceived as dramatic, drama, especially antisocial. Somebody extreme, such that he's not behaving according to what we think. And the person could be jumping from one thing to another. So these disorders tend to occur in conjunction with another one in a variety of different combinations, meaning you can be antisocial at the same time. Depending on the situation of what's happening, you could be a narcissistic person. Let's see the antisocial personality disorder, how it looks like very briefly. Okay. Now, they generally found antisocial personality disorders, they have complete disregard not only of thoughts and feelings of others, but for the rules of all other obligations. What am I talking about here? Since we have seen that manifestation starts at teenage, these are the pharaohs who can be in a secondary school situation and are extremely deviant. Case in point is teachers in schools insist that there's no smoking. They go further and they say, if you are caught doing alcohol, you are caught doing cannabis, you shall send you home.
Okay.
Antisocial people, who can even be called another difficult name in psychology, a psychopath. You find the guy smoking, yet he is aware if you smoke cannabis sativa, you're going to be expelled. Extreme. He has no feelings for the others. Yeah? He has no issue with the rules and the regulations at all, because, I mean, he has no respect for the rules and regulations of the school or obligations. Mm-hmm. A lady married to a certain man has no respect for the marriage package as it is. Okay. A man the same. Do they stay for long? No, they come out. I mean, they are married at adolescence, and then they start behaving out there in a way that you can, people will pick out and say, my fault. Mm-hmm. Daktari, why did this fellow marry so and so, and her behavior is like 1, 2, 3, 4. So they struggle with. So
in short, Daktari, you are saying that they usually do the opposite of what they are expected to do. Without
any remorse, without any feelings. I mean, morality. Okay. That's the word now, because the moral values. Mm-hmm. And actually they have a problem with impulse control, meaning they'll do something suddenly that you never expected to come from such an individual in that situation and in that place. Okay. And you are like, now, and you know the language people use, I think this fellow is mad. We don't say that. It is that he's an antisocial, he's portraying an antisocial personality disorder. Similarly, we call them as charming psychopath. Why? Because they are tolerated at times. So this individual can form relationships. That's toleration now. And even for example, but they do not hide for long. It will come out. Mm-hmm. For example, we have this, I don't want to mention names, this lady shooting ex-lovers. Mm-hmm. It's coming out. She has a problem.
Yeah, there
could be here. It's antisocial. Because you see, marriage happens inside a social. I want to give an example that you can vividly see. Happens within a social context whereby two people, they bring in their families like that, and therefore they respect each other. And actually, most marriages or relationships, they remain because of the respect of
the other party.
Yes,
but is there something that triggers that response?
Yes. We say they cannot stay for long. And it happens during teenage and the adolescence period, meaning adolescence, there is no clear cut that by 25 you'll be no. You can even go to 30, 35. Okay. You're still struggling with being an adult. And therefore this thing comes out genetically, if it is in you people, or environmental, where factors, yes, where you've been born and brought up and finally trained. Such a case, if a fellow is a police officer and is trained in using guns and all that and handling violent issues, to them they will react that way. When now that one can be when the trigger comes in, they will react with the force that they can summon without any feelings. Remember, they're antisocial. Mm-hmm. Now the second group, the group in this category.
Category B, yeah.
Yes, B, yeah, is the borderline personality disorder, meaning swinging between good and bad. Okay. Yeah, they start by, actually they have what we call very low self-esteem, low value. They give themselves, sense of worth. For example, today is a Friday. Among young people, it is the day that they find it comfortable to date one another, because one can afford to delay a bit. There was a traffic jam, the roads are being made, we want to have some fun. And if that happens to a person of low self-worth, you are like, how come this man wants me, really? I think I'm not up to his standard, therefore, no, I won't go. Then, they generally fear abandonment, to be left alone. But at the same time, it does not mean that they don't form relationships. They form them, but they are quite unstable because of this problem of low self-esteem. And they can act out self-harming behaviors. If you don't love me, I will If you don't do it, yeah, commit suicide, and she's cutting her. I don't know whether you come across issues of girls or even young men going to the extreme of jumping over. For example, when we were in college, one of my friends jumped from the 5th floor to the ground floor. Of course, he became past tense. And it was because of such a relationship. Okay. The lady whom they were relating happened to go out with another person, and to him it was extreme. I know these things are normal in college life, adolescent stage. So these individuals tend to have low impulse control. What do I mean by impulse? Impulse is like to do something. For example, right now you'd like to have a glass of chocolate. Yeah? You just can't walk out of this place and start running around looking for a glass of chocolate. Yet we are here discussing something of some importance. Yeah. How do you control that? To them, those guys who are borderline, they are here now. The other time they are the other side. At the same time, they fear they are worried about being abandoned. Okay. So this is a person who will leave you to do his decisions.
Their independence.
Yes, they really depend on what you are saying. They cannot. You cannot. You'll pick it out very well that my friend has a problem. Yeah, the other one, because in this category we have 4 of them, is the most interesting one that I see it that some of us may find ourselves there. Histrionic personality disorder. This is an interesting condition. It is characterized by, again, a low sense of self-worth. But in this disorder, an individual may seek out attention from others. I don't know whether you have seen people coming to church. Yeah, you don't attend churches in mosques. Yeah. Such like people who are histrionic, they are very interesting. Because one, they are sensitive to criticism or rejection. They don't want to, whatever they say, they want it to be like accepted as it is.
And acknowledged.
Then you'll find them walking in church late when everyone else have walked in. So they are making noise, attention seeking, yeah? And wearing, can I say, dramatic, yeah? A small issue like this, they will talk about it. This is a lady whom you will find wearing a very short skirt, yet you know, you're not supposed to wear this way in front of our pastor or in front of a preacher or in front of others, but provocative. And that brings me to the other point. My dress, my choice. You people, I dressed. So now you can see how pervasive this issue can, these disorders are. At times we are somewhere, but we manage. Because in most cases we are talking of controlling the impulse to behave in a certain manner, that people will see you that way. And now the histrionic group, they are here, attention seeking, and they have no mercy at all. Good. The last group in this category, B, is narcissistic personality disorder. Is narcissistic. They look a little bit different than other disorders in this cluster, because an individual with narcissistic personality has an overly inflated sense of self-worth, meaning this is a person who will take advantage of others. Yeah? But similar to histrionic and borderline personality disorders, these individuals have a strong need for admiration. There's a person who, when he arrives, you want people to know that he has arrived. Who are these people?
They love attention.
They are the MPs. No, I don't want to say the MPs, but I'm just saying, you find them trying to come right in front of the podium there to be seen. They have arrived, they are here. This is it. It's a personality disorder that they go through. So, and they are like, also similar to antisocial personality disorder, they generally lack empathy.
Okay.
I don't know if you have seen that behavior. Somebody does something that you wonder really, what does he think the other people are going to pick it? And they tend to exploit others.
Okay.
You can tell me in a nutshell.
Let me cut you short. Let's take our second break, but stay tuned, because Dr. when come back, he will be talking further about category B, which is antisocial, borderline, hyponoise, and narcissistic. Stay tuned.
Health is an important aspect of physical and mental wellness for human growth and prosperity.
Malaria is a disease that is much more of the tropics.
We take a deep dive to inform you on how to take care of your mental well-being.
Who is more at risk of getting this mental illness?
Each one of us is at risk of getting a mental illness.
On Stay Healthy, we bring you insights from experts with vast experience that will leave you informed and intrigued.
Cervical cancer, from infection to when it manifests with symptoms, it can take 10 to 20 years.
Make a date with us on Stay Healthy with MARIAM Salim.
Mbiu ya mgambo ikilia.
Hiyo hakuna.
Hiyo imeleta
Huyu mtoto wako si mzuri, lakini please usimwambie ni mimi nilikuambia. Hiyo ni fitna direct. Wachana nayo kabisa.
Ndani ya LYT tunabonga na mavijana mtaani.
Johnny Mbogi tukiwa na mashekh na mahiro.
Nimefurahi kuwa hapa.
Naitwa Amisa Rashid.
Na leo tumekukaribisha katika studio, tunataka utuambie masuala ya social media.
Hao machali zangu, wewe mimi peke yangu sivuti bangi. Hao wengine wanavuta. So kila siku uko tu hapo kwa squad ya bangi. Vipi wewe huaffect hao watu? Either they'll affect you or you'll affect them.
Sasa mimi nikiulizwa depression ni nini? Nasema hiyo ni ugonjwa wa masonko.
Kidogo. According to that time hata mimi nimecheza bano na hizo.
Kuanzia saa 4 hadi saa 5 asubuhi kila Jumatatu.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Once again, welcome back to our third and final part of show today. We are talking about personality disorder. Daktari, before we went for, you went for the break. Sorry. You were talking about narcissistic behavior.
Yeah, narcissistic personality disorders. And we mentioned that the individuals who are narcissistic, they actually have what you call overinflated personality, a sense of their own self-worth, and therefore they like being
noticed. Can you say that they are egotistic?
Yes, that's the word I didn't want to put it. They are that ego. Yeah? And these individuals have a strong need for admiration. And I was picking them from the society, looking at some behaviors of our, let's say, some politicians, what to be seen that they have arrived. And above all, at the end of the day, they lack empathy, and they exploit others. So you can see that group of people in our society, and actually even in our own families, and in your age group, you can pick them out. So narcissistic is a very interesting disorder. And I think that you have seen why I'm saying that at the end of it all, you realize where does your people belong, or people whom you know, which group they are in. Now the third cluster, which is quite interesting, of personality disorders, the cluster C are people who fear, who have a disorder of fearing, meaning they have a lot of anxiety, and they fear things, issues,
Is it
events.
natural, or maybe something can trigger that fear in them?
It is something that triggers the fear in them. And we have only three groups in them. One is avoidant personality disorder, the other one is dependent personality disorder, and the last one is obsessive compulsive personality disorder.
So these categories fall under narcissistic category?
No, they are in cluster C now.
Oh, we are talking about the cluster C.
Yes, yes. And in cluster C, you have the avoidant personality disorder. People who are with anxiety and the fear disorders. Yeah? People who are dependent personality disorder. People who suffer from obsessive compulsive personality disorder, but not obsessive compulsive traumatic disorder, no. So these individuals have a fear or anxiety about something in their lives, whether it is other people, order, cleanliness, or anything else. Anxiety comes in when you have an issue here or a situation here where you cannot see a solution at hand right away. And once you get a solution, the anxiety comes down.
Away.
Anxiety is accompanied by a subjective feeling, meaning yourself, how you feel towards it. Yeah? And anxiety brings about changes in you. Increased heartbeat, sweating, preparing to run or to jump or something.
Can it cause a panic attack?
Now, that is another disorder of the anxiety, yes. And the panic attack is sudden, whereby you even lose your consciousness because of that one, and you fear actually to go anywhere. Actually, it's in the same disorder. But now here, if it is prolonged, yeah. So these disorders are frequently occur in multiples. It's not alone. So it can be panic disorder with a dependency or obsessive compulsive disorder. And in fact, these individuals are likely to know that something is wrong with them, and therefore they need to be helped by a psychiatrist or a counselor or a clinical psychologist who will take them through the fears that they have. Let us look at the first group of avoidant personality and how it manifests. One is that avoidant personality, they have poor social skills. What do you mean by skills? Of relating to another person. Others. Yeah. And they are not very comfortable with anything outside where they live. And you find that the majority of them, they tend to keep at home or in a compound that they know the sufuria is there. Familiar. My family member is there. And they generally have difficult interacting with others because they extremely fear of rejection, and even they're embarrassed. They even don't go out with their age mates. And they try to avoid. They have a difficult because they want to be sure that they are approved, you know. And it is somebody whom you reject him or her, she can easily cry or even fight back if it's a man. And therefore they try to avoid. So how do they succeed? By avoiding to be in that company and let me stay at home with my problems. Now the dependent type, still in the same cluster, is a disorder. It manifests mainly as excessive lack of confidence, dependent, you know, depending on another individual, depending on another person, depending on another event. So the individuals tend to form a very intense relationships very quickly. Why? Because I want to depend on you. Yes, and they become extremely dependent on the object or the affection of the, you can even stick around your mobile. And this is happening very much with our current teenagers or this group. He's always there. His friends are even there. They often feel incapable of making decisions, so they'll keep on coming back to you. Should we? Shall we? Like that.
They usually consult others before doing anything.
They will consult you, whom they have at least managed to get. Remember, in the antisocial, I mean, in the dependent or whatever, and they are not very happy with the outside order that they don't know. So they will form a friendship very fast with you, stick to you. It's like having a boyfriend who turns out like he's your baby brother, anything. And you are not looking for that. You're looking for a mad man. They can be extremely afraid of abandonment. You leave him, things will be different. So, and they view themselves as inadequate, like they are not enough, you know, up to whatever is happening. So they leave many aspects to you about their lives. What to dress, I mean how to dress, what to wear, yes, everything Mama will tell you, my girlfriend will do for it, Mariam will do for me. That one is dangerous by itself. Now, the last category, group in this category, C, is the obsessive compulsive personality disorders. In that it is, many people are familiar with this one, and you'll find it, and you'll see it, and they tell you something that you'll remember throughout your days of this under the sun. It's not just about an obsession with the cleanliness and something like that. I don't know whether you've seen somebody like that.
Yeah, I've come across a scenario where
cleans,
goes
away,
and then cleans again and again.
No, it is not that. It is more than that. It's an obsession about rules and details. No, don't touch that one. Mr. Muhammad said, you don't move this one. And I had a secretary like that one when I was working with an Egyptian farm. And this lady kept on, she was from Egypt, she kept on checking herself. And I realized, I think she has a problem. Why is it that you are taking so much time in the loose? It's okay, it's all right, but such like people. obsessed with how they look like. And until it's a problem, because even one time my boss was wondering, how come you have not taken him his cup of tea of 10 o'clock, because you are observing what's happening. Individuals, they even do something about it, compassion, you know, in different ways. But it takes over their life degree. I mean, you have a problem because you are like a stickler of rules and regulations. And you fear to deviate even or to bed that something terrible might happen. This flower vase, must it be there exactly?
So in short, if you move it
he'll bring
a
it
little
back.
bit better, it will be like
yes.
something is missing.
Yes, and she'll come back and bring it exactly at the center of the table, walk away, then come back again, and they wonder, is it there still? If they follow the right process, if they fail to follow the right process of anything, may it be rules, regulations, and all that. What did we say from the beginning? Personality disorders are the way we think, the way we feel, the way we act in a situation, in an environment, over an event, and even interacting with the other individuals. So he'll carry it with him. An argumentative person, even if you take him to China, you still argue with the Chinese, whether they are hearing him or not.
Yeah,
Yes? A girl who is introverted keeps to herself. No matter where you take her, she'll be there. How will you pick out this person? It's because you quietly ask whoever is around, and how is MARIAM? And they tell, oh, she's always quiet. So that's her persona. That's her persona. That's the mask that she wears all around. Now, personality disorders. One, they themselves, they also cause personal distress to the individual. Once the person reaches that level, we say she is lucky, she is discovering herself. Now, to reach that level, the person may realize that at the end of the day, we have an issue here. Because is it that the way I was born and brought up, Nasha, how was my parents relating with me? Who are they to me? How these significant other people, how do they treat me in various areas? And therefore now, the question of the environment matters a lot. Because did you know, even there's an element of abuse of drugs or substances that can alter the chemistry or the chemicals in your body. Leave alone now the genetic makeup. If your father, mother ever engaged in drug abuse before you are born, something might go wrong, because you see we are anchored on the brain or the chemistry of the brain of an individual. And if that happens, then you are bound to show out there a behavior at a certain stage that is not welcome in that category or in that group. The peers, married mothers, married couples, at the place of work. Your functioning is questionable. And it is because of how either you have been born and brought up, or genetic makeup, or environmental factors like substance abuses. All these bring about a serious issue.
Now, Daktari, sorry, it seems like time is not on our side, but indeed it has been a pleasure having you on the show. Well, on our viewers, thank you so much for joining us. That marks the end of our today's show. But join us next week, same time, as we continue on the same topic of personality disorder, as we take it from causes and symptoms of personality disorder. On behalf of my production team, I've been your host, Mariam Salim. Till next time, Maasalam.